Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. Tom is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
I'm here, locked in. I don't know about the loaded part. I haven't smoked pot yet, but stay tuned on that. I'm just kidding. With that, the old Rick back, there he is. Last night, I had a special guest come in, Carol Rosen from Ashland. She worked with von Braun. She was his secretary and wrote a book called Secrets of the Space Age and gave me a second book called The Search of Peace for the Children. And I liked her a lot. And at the time I was here, Carrie Cassidy called me, Nick Begich called me. I had a bunch of other calls with people trying to find out how I'm doing. It was interesting. It was a vector. And there's something really strange going on in my home, right where I live, right behind me. This last month, a massive bunker went in, and right now, just taking up a small portion of it, are two small tanks and not an NRAP, but a deployment vehicle for an 8-man with a gun turret. And that's on my hill, right next to my property. And it's all over in southern Oregon. All the hills now have tanks and deployment vehicles from the National Guard. Now, I don't know if it's like Texas, but I can tell you that with this dark act that they're trying to pass, and this new one on taking guns away from senior citizens, how did Yoda put it? My gun you may have, after I give you my bullets, I will.
Rick, when you talk about tanks,
these were small tanks. They weren't real big ones. They're like medium-sized tanks. They're not the big, big ones. They're smaller.
I don't have one. Do you?
I don't have a tank. No, I do have something else, however, and it can cause havoc if I choose to be an individual standing my ground.
Talking about being an individual standing your ground, there's a man who lived in a neighborhood, and a drone flew over his house. And it flew over the neighbor's house, and they're all kind of watching this thing. And this guy pulled out a shotgun and shot it down.
Just like in that movie, They Live. 1988. John Carpenter.
My response to that is good for him. Of course, he got arrested. He got arrested, and, he endangered the public. Yeah, well, here's what happened. The police said that he, was endangering those around him. I'll tell you who was endangering those around him. That was the guy flying the drone. That guy was endangering everybody around him. And all this guy did was...
Absolutely correct point of the law. I had something terrible happen to me. I lost a court case yesterday that should, when I walked out of the court, I looked straight at the judge and said, this is no longer the America that I served and protected. It was an eviction notice from somebody that I'm acting as a power of attorney on a friend of mine that's in prison, needing to evict someone that had not paid rent for several years, owing more than $4,000. She went and got a lawyer. They found a technicality, and now I'm now saddled me with a lawyer bill. How does that work?
Rick, everything seems to be backwards and upside down.
Upside down.
The more I look at it, the more I look at things, the more I realize how messed up things are. For example, one of our friends told me at a meetup that he really feels sorry for me. I mean, those are his words. I really feel sorry for you, Vinny. Like, what? And he feels sorry for me because I'm worried about a lot of things. He thinks I'm worried about a lot of things. I'm not worried about a lot of things. I'm concerned about a lot of things. And I'm doing something about it. Like I think that the power grid is precarious. So I'm building a solar array to provide power so I can have water so we can feed and water the cows. I mean, they're dependent on us. So I want to make sure that doesn't disappear and that 100 cows don't die because of me not paying attention. Okay. I want to make sure I have enough salt for the cows because they absolutely need it. And I want to make sure that they have enough protein for the winter because they need it, because the grass that we cut from hay does not have the nutrition that it should because the sun was not around for photosynthesis to occur. So the hay is of substandard quality, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's hay. If you look at it, yeah, it's there. It just doesn't have the nutrition that the cows are going to need for the cold winter. So I'm concerned about all these things and I'm preparing for them, and that's what farmers do. But one of our meetup guys feels sorry for me because he thinks I'm worried about these things. And he told me all of his friends are live in these big houses with copper roofs and everybody's doing well and driving new cars. And I said, I don't know anybody like that. I mean, I don't know anybody like that. I don't know anybody who just bought a new house or lives in a mansion and has all new cars. I mean, I know people who have large houses, but I don't know anybody who is living carelessly and frivolously with their money. I don't know anybody like that. I don't know anybody.
Well, money has gone out of circulation. There just simply isn't the flow that there was because there isn't the flow that there was.
I got a call from one of our instructors last night, and we were talking for about an hour, and we were talking about what's happening in the Ozark Mountains. And this instructor has her ear to the ground. There's no question about it. She is out and about. They have a business. They have a family business. They know a lot of people who are in business, and they know what's happening in the area. Well, she was telling me about the number of stores who are just on the edge of closing. And her husband was telling me, another instructor, he was telling me about stores that have closed. And they were telling us that they have customers, and the customers would want to have something done to their equipment. And they would say, okay, that's $45 to do that. And the customer would say, no, I can't do it. And that happened 3 times yesterday. 3 people came in for service that they needed. It was $45 for the service, which is about 1/4 the price that the big box stores would charge. And the customer said, no, I can't do it, and left. So what I'm saying is the flow of money that you're talking about, you're absolutely right. It is disappearing.
To the bank with the GoFundMe. I had to transfer this money from GoFundMe or I was going to lose it. And the bank, I had a big wad of cash in my hands from the Chicago thing I did. And I walked into the bank and they could not and did not want to take my money, but they'll take care of it later today. I went in on Friday. They had not done it, and they were going to pull me off until Monday, which would have lost my GoFundMe. And that's when John B. Wells called me at the bank and started talking to me about an interview on talking about how banks won't take money. And I was talking to the bank manager walking across the street and seeing if that bank would like to open a savings account for me. They finally gave me that and promised that my savings accounts, 2 of them, would show on the internet by Monday. Guess what? It is now Thursday, and it hasn't happened, and my girlfriend said, I'll handle this because I'm about to light a bonfire with my bank that I have been with for 40 years. The way I'm being treated after a history of 3 different bank managers. One of them I dated and was my lover. 2 others are fans of mine that got moved up in the ranks to the point where they moved to Portland. One of them just had a baby. Congratulations, Dana Evans. Now, but going to say too, this new ringer they brought in is like, she looks good, but I am not getting the kind of service I did when I chose a small local bank farm home. And I looked at several of the girls behind the counter, and I said, it's coming. And they quietly will say, yeah. The banks are going to start to default, and they're setting you up now with the way they're servicing you. Watch how it all plays.
So, yesterday, Mrs. Finelli, no, day before, excuse me, Mrs. Finelli and I went to the bank, same bank we've been dealing with for a decade. And I was at the Division of Motor Vehicles office and right next door to the bank. And it was getting to time when the bank was going to close in a little bit. So she ran over to the bank to cash a few checks. They were not big checks. Well, she cleaned them out. She cleaned out the bank. And she came back and she said, wow, I got all their cash. And all the cash that they had in the drawer, she got. And it wasn't a lot of money. It wasn't. And so Mrs. Finelli said, yeah, but it's the end of the day. And I go, oh, so it's the end of the day and they run out. Unbelievable. Banks don't have cash. At least the ones we deal with.
None of them do. It's the beginning of the way everybody was concerned it would get.
While still alive. Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order. And give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state in back taxes, you know they'll never stop coming after you. With bank levies, wage garnishments, they'll even seize your home or business. The good news? A government program for tax debt forgiveness. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative.
I'm Paul Sibley with U.S. Tax Shield. We can help navigate the new laws, get you protected, and resolve your tax issues permanently.
Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield now for your free consultation and get a guaranteed quote to resolve your case. Call 800-436-6451. That's 800-436-6451.
Rick Miller's with us, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. So, Rick, I was on the phone with Verizon. This was a while back, and they said, how can we encourage you to keep your cell phone? And I said, you can't. And they said, well, what's the problem? I said, you guys have been spying on me. You guys have been providing information to the federal government. You watch my every move. You can turn on my camera, my microphone.
You're becoming the Marlboro man. It's going to be this generation's cigarettes.
Yeah, and I said, and then there's the electromagnetic radiation. I'm not doing it. And the guy said, he finally said, yeah, okay, yeah, I know, I agree. And I was not going to give in, and I wanted to let him know. I mean, maybe I was a little rough on him. Maybe I was, because I just unloaded on this guy. I mean, I didn't yell and scream. I just gave him the facts. I unloaded the facts, and he said,
toxic.
You're right.
It's simply
and here's another thing.
They're toxic.
Rick, there's a post I'm going to put.
They don't have a warning label on them like they do cigarettes. And the tobacco industry could care less about the public. Care less about it. And same thing is true with cell phones and the providers. CenturyLink, AT&T, you can name them. They don't give a damn about any of us.
Did you say CenturyLink? So,
yes, I did.
All right, that's next. That's next. All right, so.
And I've got a story on CenturyLink you're not going to believe. I'm not kidding.
I'll take that story and raise you.
CenturyLink
go ahead.
just sold 6,000 customers to Credit One, and guess what? In the center of it was May of only 14 whose service dropped from supposed to be delivered as 3 megabaud uplink went down. They say they can deliver 0.7 and mine's at 0.4 and they can't even get a read on it, and they sent a tech out. And the tech couldn't say anything because he said there's nothing wrong with me. but it is, and it's like what Credit One did is work it like a party line where they put 10 times as many people on the same line, baud width, so that it's like a party line, and sometimes you can do it, and mostly I can't do radio, and my phone right now with you is probably a little garble because that's what they do is radio, and I mean they do a telephone and internet for me. And they charge me $100 for service they're not delivering, and they can do that legally.
Okay, Rick, since we're on the CenturyLink
bandwagon, let's take them down.
All right, let's talk about CenturyLink. Well, that's who we have here at the farm. And I used to get disconnected, maybe as many as 5-6 times during a broadcast. I would just lose the connection, and I would either sometimes I would broadcast with the telephone in one hand and talk on the microphone at the same time. And whatever seemed to be working, the engineer would pick up at Genesis Communications Network, and that's how it worked. And they were just messing with me and giving me all kinds of problems. Here's what I found out: that somebody modified the configuration settings for our line at the central office at CenturyLink. They set me up incorrectly so I would have what you were talking about, dropouts, low bandwidth, all of that.
You can't do radio, and you can't do Skype,
right.
You can't do telephone.
Correct. That's what they did. And they set it, somebody deliberately set it to that, and it really worked poorly. So one guy, I said, well, here's what I did. Here's the answer.
Crap inside their offices without internal affairs.
All right, here's how I solved this. So I happen, because I live in the middle of nowhere, there are only a couple technicians. And I knew this technician, and he said, I'll tell you what, I'd like to come out and look at how you wired your house. And I said, well, it's right, but okay, let's do that. So what I did was I showed him the point of presence. I showed him how I wired the house and how it came up to the studio, all the wiring. He said, wow, this is really good. This is better than we would expect it to be, because I used unshielded twisted pair rather than, phone cable. And so he said, okay, so the problem is not you. It's not you. And then he went and he spent like a couple hours looking at the configuration, and he found it because he was determined. First he thought it was me. It's always me. It's always my problem. Well, it wasn't. It was their problem. And that was CenturyLink. And they paid for the service call because I told them it wasn't me. I'm not paying for it. So we'll come back to that in just a minute.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at GCNlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet, or visit GCNlive.com for instant access and live streaming. GCNlive.com, the future of talk radio. Now at your fingertips.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose. 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993 today.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic any time. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Plus, I posted that article I was telling you about your webcam and how you're being spied on. It's on the website, usapreparedness.com, page 1, if you'd like to see that. So Rick's with us, and so Rick, CenturyLink, we've got them, and here at the farm. And so for a couple months, there was a phone number that I was trying to call, and it would say, your call could not be completed as dialed. I get an error tone. I thought, So I'd call it again and again and again and again and again. So for a couple months, this is going on. So we called CenturyLink, and of course, hours on the phone with these guys, and they're recording this for quality assurance. They're not recording it for quality assurance because they don't have quality. They hang up on you. I mean, it's miserable dealing with CenturyLink. Well, what we found out, it took 3 days for these guys to fix this problem. And what was it? They had an error in their configuration. So we could not call a number from...
With intent.
Yeah, so we couldn't call a specific number. A specific number.
Yep.
And it wasn't like we blocked this number. We don't block anybody's number. And we have unlimited long distance. So it's not like it's out of our calling area. It's not like that at all. It wasn't us. It was them. And Rick, what we're seeing...
to me repeatedly this week alone. And guess what? If you think CenturyLink is bad, their buddy, Credit One, is way, way worse. It's like skimming, and then they're going to trash it. And I called Charter to come out to put it, because Charter has service 2 houses over on either side of me, and Charter, the guy's a good friend, knew who I am, and blah, 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 said to me, there's nothing I can do. It's regulations, because your power comes in from this direction over that. It's a federal thing. They have us drawn and quartered before we even got out of bed.
It's really, really frustrating. And you said this isn't
the beginning of the crash of the internet and communications. And then it'll be water, and then it will be air and food and da-da-da-da-da. It goes down the line.
Rick, I believe...
I have to tell you, the weapons that they have today, I was on Jeff Rentz. Jeff Rentz showed me a police report of his accident. And there was 3 different independent witnesses in the state police report stating a gray pickup, license plate. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to let you know we have it. And that's it. That gray pickup went to his accident, didn't touch him, went in and grabbed something and removed it, and then the police showed up. They were gone. Now, that weapon is in the size of a cigarette box and is a ELF spike weapon that shorts out the brain and makes it appear as if you've had a stroke. It's not a stroke. MRIs and all of it confirmed he did not have a stroke. And then the second week where he nearly died was it appeared that he had a spiral meningitis with blood clots all over his brain. They went in. They were going to open him up surgically when he came awake and screamed no on surgery. There are new weapons being deployed that I don't even have a clue what they are. They're different than the ones I developed in the 70s. There it is. It happened.
Rick, what we're finding out and what we're talking about on alternative radio, some of us.
Gary Cassidy was here with me yesterday talking about it, and you should see what she looked like after her attack. And my girlfriend and I, the day I got back from Chicago, I slept well, da-da-da-da-da. You were there with me. I didn't have a problem with my jaw. Right. When I came here, all of a sudden it started happening again, and my girlfriend and I almost broke up because of the attack we were under. And I mean, I told her, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm under attack. It's not me, and I have no clue what's going on. And she didn't either, and she's much more innocent than I am. We're back together, but I have to tell you, that's why we walked up the street to see what was around me, and there it is. There's the bunker, right there.
Okay, Rick, here we go. I'm going to tell you. I was on the phone with one of your other good friends. Someone you have met. Well, I'll even say who it is. Joey. Joey and I were... Yes, and I do too. I consider Joey a wonderful...
He is a true patriot.
Yep, I consider him a wonderful friend.
True patriot.
And he said to me, and this is no different from my feelings, so I'm not sharing something out of school. He said to me that Rick was great in Chicago. It was the old Rick, back to himself. He was. Well, I'll tell you what. You were the hit of the show. There's no question about it.
It's just I'm back in my body when I get away from here. I am under attack. I have no clue what it is.
Rick, that's exactly the point, and we're discussing it here publicly on the air, that Joey and I were talking. You were not in the room, and in your hotel room, and we were there, and we were talking about how great it was because Rick is back. He's back. He's back to his old self.
No, and he's angry now, and it's not going to be his old self anymore. I carry a concealed weapons permit, and right now I'm angry. And Rick, now what they're trying to do with the Dark Act And this taking guns away from senior citizens. This is crazy. And while it might be true that senility it should not be armed, right now I've got aluminum and barium oxide poisoning. And I have run the panels. There it is, just like Norm's. And what I'm doing is a bioremediation, and it's changing me, and I'm getting back. The aluminum is present in everything.
Well, that's what Joey and I were talking about was we thought that where you lived before had something to do with your health. And we thought that
black mold.
whatever they
condemned, most likely. That's why he asked me to move and didn't want to tell me, even though he was my friend. He didn't want to have a lawsuit. That's my guess.
Black mold can be fixed. It can be fixed with Nixol. I mean, worst case is you put a tent over the house and you spray Nixol, atomized Nixol, or aerosolized Nixol, and you leave it in there. And it kills it. It kills every...
What killed those calves?
I don't know.
Why? Why do you not know?
Well, because the veterinarian who checked them, thinks it was heat. And maybe it was heat. I mean, I really don't know.
It sure would, and it's one of those things you may never, with your pay grade, ever get to know.
Right. I mean,
it's creepy.
We've lost cows. I mean, with this geoengineering, it's getting worse. I mean, these violent swings of temperature.
John B. Wells is going to be present and chairing the thing down in Reading on geoengineering with Dean Wigington and others. And it's happening in August, and watch what happens in September.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of the Ides of March.
Rick, it's coming at us fast. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the temperatures.
Oh, yeah. We're in triple digits today. We're going to be 109 again. This is 6 different times since the beginning of summer. Absolute, complete records. We maybe make triple digits once every 3 years for a day. And we've had 6 different weeks of it. Yesterday was 103. Today is going to be 109. That's why I'm going to the beaches. And it was 85 at 8 o'clock in the morning over in Brookings yesterday. How does that work when Brookings is always down around the 50s? Always.
So, Rick, just to finish up that previous thought, well, Joey and I thought, and we talked, maybe you've been targeted with your old home to get you out of there, and maybe there's something going on with your new home, and it's affecting your health. We thought that.
Well, it's a $1,200 home, and they gave it to me for $800.
Well, here's what happened. But Rick, what we've noticed, when you were in Chicago, you were your old self. And when you go back, your health is somewhat not the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
just wanted to share that with you.
Inside myself, because I am an aware individual with internal landscape. I talk even about it, and I can tell you it's not me, and I have no idea what it is. And it takes meditation. That is what I'm doing. I am sim running like crazy, trying to block it out.
Maybe there's electromagnetic radiation.
There's no question on that. You ought to see the way this town looks today as a little pit, with towers surrounding us. It's like in the movie, Keep Walking, Keep Walking, Keep Walking. It's like that movie, 1988 movie, They Live. They're among us. Everything that we're doing is assaulting us in subliminals. And now they're using more advanced technology to mess with us.
Okay, I just wanted to share that with you because Joey and I were concerned, and all you did was remove yourself from your home environment, go to Chicago, and you were fixed.
Are you trying to get me to move to Missouri?
No. Well, okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. But anyway, you certainly
the water's fine. You're going to be in the center of the split on America, right where you are.
Well,
according to my calculations, you're going to be underwater, or you already you are underwater.
Rick, we're at like 1,200 feet.
Yes, but look at your flooding. Look at what your weather is.
Our weather's nuts. And when we come back, I want to talk to you about going up on the roof. I want to talk about that and putting solar panels on and how difficult a simple task is. I'm not kidding. It's almost impossible. And we'll tell you why when we come back right after these few short commercial announcements. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, richardallenmiller.com. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Ouch! My back is out again.
Hi, Dr. Ortman with Wellspring Spinal Care. If you're experiencing neck, mid, or lower back pain, this information is for you. One of the complaints that I hear is patients receive their typical adjustment, only having to repeat them as the pain returns. Putting the bones back in place is only half of the battle. At Wellspring Spinal Care, we have the entire solution. We use the NUCA approach, utilizing three-dimensional x-rays and gentle touch technology to deliver specific correction. We then design a custom nutritional supplement program which provides essential nutrients targeting the areas of concern. With a NUCA approach and proper nutrition, you'll be on your way to a faster and more permanent recovery. To get you on the road to wellness, visit drortman.com. That's drortman.com, or call us today, 952-303-9124. That's 952-303-9124. Wellspring Spinal Care, chiropractic done right.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. So, Rick, you saw the barn that we built right
Yeah, you did a nice job.
Right outside the house. And we're putting solar panels on the roof. So our son and I, Mrs. Finelli, are out there. We've got the backhoe and we're lifting up the solar panels. And it's really simple. All we did was put in some purlins on the roof, which are 2x4s, pressure treated. And it's a steel roof, and it's a silver, it's a galvanized roof. So it's not black. It's not dark green. It's not dark red. It's not attracting the absorption of heat. So anyway, we can't get on the roof. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun has been on it for half an hour, and it's burned off the moisture. So, it wouldn't be as slippery, but it's too hot at 9 o'clock in the morning. Can't get on the roof. During the day, no way can we get on the roof because it's so hot. Now, it's not a black roof. And the only time we can get on the roof is at about 6 o'clock at night when the sun is in the west, and we have a really short window because an hour and a half later, the dew comes on the roof and it becomes too slippery to stand on it. So we have been trying. Now, this is like a week now. We've been trying to get on the roof, and all we want to do is put up 54 feet of purlins, just two of them. 54 feet long, and we want to bolt down the solar panels on these purlins. It's as simple as that. Well, it's a week, and we're not done because we don't have a long enough window to get up on the roof when it's not so hot that we get burned. It's unbelievable how hot it is, and it's not like we're in the direct sun yet. We're still overcast, and it's still too hot, Rick. What I'm saying is I think we are going to have roof-related failures. I talked with Miles this morning. Miles called me from Europe, and we were talking about what he did. He did an interesting
where the rubber meets the road, and
that's what we're talking about.
You're seeing now.
Well, so the bottom line is we're having a great deal of difficulty getting these solar panels on the roof, not because we can't lift them on the roof. That's easy. We just put them in the backhoe, put the bucket up there, and they're at roof height. No problem. No problem getting the purlins on the roof, except we need to find enough time to do it when the sun isn't killing us. And we can't find enough time to get the panels from the bucket of the backhoe across the roof and screw them down. It's taken, this probably should have been, at most a one-day job. At most. It's taken a week, and it's probably going to take a couple more days. So I just want to share that with you. But Miles called me this morning. We had a wonderful, wonderful chat. And he was saying how, we mentioned the heat. And he's in Europe. And he lives in a village. And what they did was they got the farmers together over the weekend. And we were talking about oil-related failures and overheating and those kinds of things on the air. And so he and his farmer friends got together, and they brought all the tractors over, 58 of them, 58 tractors over the weekend. They had a cookout, and they were going to figure out what's going on, and they wanted to make sure that their equipment did not overheat. So they got a camera. They put the camera down into the engine. They looked at cavitation. I mean, this was serious science, okay? Serious engineering. And they found cavitation problems because of heat spots on the wet cylinders in the tractor engines. And what they found out was they had to use a lubricant supplement. And they found out that if they used a graphite and moly supplement, it filled in the areas that were these little tiny scratch marks that caused cavitation on the coolant side of the engine. So they fixed it with Lubromoly. It's an engine protection supplement with graphite. What a great way to go. And so they're experimenting because they're seeing the same kinds of heat-related failures that we're seeing in this country. And I don't think it's going to get better, Rick. I think it's going to get worse. Can we talk about the physics of some of this when we come back on the other side of the top of the hour news and commercial announcements? What I'm talking about is friction, reducing hot spots, and adding in cooling, water wetters, and the types of things to make our engines survive the attacks that are already here and getting worse. Heat. Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. I'm Vincent Finelli. This is USAprepares.com. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at GCNlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet or visit GCNlive.com for instant access and live streaming. GCNlive.com, the future of talk radio, now at your fingertips.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
We call it the crapper, water closet, outhouse, or bathroom. But where do you go when there's nowhere to go? The answer is the Biffy Bag. The Biffy Bag is a pocket-sized disposable toilet that fits in your glove box, tackle box, toolbox, backpack, or purse. The Biffy Bag has everything you need for a sanitary and comfortable relief experience. It's ready to use in just seconds, and just toss it in the trash when you're done. It's your Biffy in a jiffy. BiffyBag.com. BiffyBag.com.
Would you like to use your IRA funds to buy precious metals and hold them at home? Are you wary of the stock market, paper gold, or faraway depositories? With a checkbook IRA, you may legally take custody of IRA-owned gold and silver. Visit checkbookira.com and learn how IRA owners in all 50 states have already taken control. checkbookira.com. checkbookira.com.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAprepares.com with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Rick, I just got a phone call. And, sitting here in the studio and the commercials started at the end of the last hour. And it was a recording. And it said that if I have $6,000 average balance for a short period, this company will lend me up to $250,000, and I can get it within 24 to 48 hours. Press 1 for more information. So, naturally, I press 1, and this guy answers. And it sounds like I'm in a boiler room with a lot of, he's in a boiler room with lots of phones and other people.
Going into your
and he says, funding department. Yeah, he says funding department. And I said, great. May I have your phone number in case we get disconnected? Click. He hung up on me. This is the second. This is the second time.
Climb into your registry. I have this one guy from India doing it every day. He's a little pipsqueak and haughty, and he knows I'm onto him, and he still calls me to irritate me. Now, is that this guy from India in a boiler room, or is this someone paid in India by military for harassment and profiling?
Well, I was trying to get his number because what I wanted to do is make sure that he got all the credit he deserved. I was going to put him on the internet during the break.
All that credit he deserves. That's right.
And that's our style here at USA Preparedness. We want to make sure that everybody gets all the credit.
List that they promised me.
Hey, Rick, let me tell you, there is nobody to call about anything. You know, you talked about CenturyLink. Who are you going to call to complain about CenturyLink? There's nobody. The only thing that we have available to us is the sunshine. Expose these thugs, whoever they may be, these corporate thugs, the politicians. The only thing we can do is vote with our wallet and expose them on the internet. Those are the two things that they really despise. And we need to talk about them.
Down in Reading with John B. Wells and a bunch of others that are all going to be talking about geoengineering. I think Dane is going to be there. I can't, but maybe Grace was going to go down there and represent me as a bilocation shaman. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the fact that we're paying for services they are not delivering, and they have excuses that allow them to do it by law. And this dark act, this dark act, how could Congress possibly even think about approving something like that? And it did. How does that work?
Rick,
I'll tell you what, the state of Connecticut chose not to put that on their ballot because Monsanto said they were going to take the state of Connecticut to task and bankrupt them. That's how it works.
Rick, we've covered a story about this dentist. Hang on just a second. So we've covered this story about this dentist. His name is Palmer. And in Minnesota, and this guy goes to Zimbabwe and shoots a lion, and it's all over the news. We're not breaking any stories here. Okay, so this is a magnificent lion, and this guy shoots him with an arrow or multiple arrows. I'm not sure how many arrows.
Well, but you can count on the fact he did it previous too, and he's already got a record for it.
Yeah, he's got a record for killing a black bear and lying about it. He's there
you go.
According to some of the articles, he's paid out $127,500 on a sexual harassment settlement. So this guy is, according to what I'm reading, he's not the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Right. So what does it take? What does it take to look at a magnificent lion and execute that lion? And I was talking with Mike Parsons last night. He called me, and we were talking about bobcats and mountain lions that we have on our farms. He has in Tennessee, and we have here in Missouri. And he did the same thing we did. He pulled out a camera and took a picture. I mean, that's what he did. That's what we did. For this, it was an interesting sight seeing this mountain lion. Now, of course, we could have shot him, and so could other farmers have shot animals that are on their farms. But if the mountain lion's not causing us any problems, why would we do that? Why would we execute an animal? And the analogy would be pre-crime. Well, yeah, but he's got the capabilities, a big cat, and he could tear up another animal. So before he does it, let's kill him. I mean, why would anybody do that? And that's kind of some of the thinking that's going on. So this dentist executes this big cat, this huge lion. Well, Mrs. Finelli, had a doctor. He's retired in Springfield. And this guy, I saw him at a meeting where it was a club. It was a hunting club. And these guys would get together and talk about, these big hunts that they were going to go on. $35,000 to, to go to another country and go kill an animal. Just, we're going to go kill one. And here's the animal we're going to kill. They would pick the animal, before they'd go on this hunting trip. And what was the purpose? Well, hey, we could have the skin and we can make a rug out of it. So we're going to go kill a leopard or a tiger or, an elephant. I mean, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts doing this. And so who are these? This guy's a doctor, a medical doctor. I think this is absolutely sick.
Well, I would think that trophy hunting for animals like Shayne might be okay.
Well, he was hunting with his best friend.
And all. Look what I've got on my wall. What's in your wallet?
I can just see the Secret Service.
This is not the America that I served and protected.
Rick, we have fallen so far. And, and maybe these politicians, when they talk about trophy hunting, and they get together for a picnic or a barbecue at some, secret location where they're protected by, a small army, for their own safety. Maybe for our safety. And they talk about, well, so what's your biggest trophy? Well, I started a war in Vietnam. It's pretty cool.
Good luck with this.
Yeah, pretty cool because, I got X number of guys killed and wounded. And another guy says, yeah, but I did Iraq. And another guy says, I did Libya. And another, and is that what these guys talk about? Their trophies?
It's about war. And what happens after the war is over, and what do you do with your army now? And that's been the problem of why there is no longer a Smokey the Bear, where the military could be out setting up community gardens as their service of protecting and serving America. It doesn't have to be about war, but that's where the money machine is, and the 1%er. They're all geared for armor and war. And when war is not happening, they must have one. Watch what they're going to try to do. And what the military should be used for is to serve and protect homeland. And that's put gardens in and food. If they're not at war, what are they going to be there for? What is the purpose of it if there is no such need for a Cold War or a, posturing of who's got the biggest this?
Really good point, Rick. And, when I keep thinking about...
does not exist anymore.
Okay, well, first of all, it was when you were growing up, Rick, and when I was growing up, it was Smokey the Bear.
That's
and
right.
Then they changed it. They changed
Only
it, Rick.
You can prevent forest fires. And watch what happens this year on the West Coast. I am not kidding. We are going to have the problems of which we have never dreamed of. And right now, there is a group in just north of San Diego that is in a full evacuation because the municipalities can no longer deliver water, and FEMA is incapable of delivering to that part of the country. It's happening right now. And with all of that, how does it work that Dark Act work? And why would anyone vote for that and pass it in Congress, trying to ram it through the Senate for Obama's signature?
Those guys are traitors.
We got to stop this.
They're absolute traitors. They do not work for us. And that's why I'm not willing to go to Washington, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing that we can accomplish in Washington, in my opinion.
Well,
Washington's gone.
At the voters' ballot, and it's called recall, and you can keep the local people accountable, and you start on the grassroots level so that the reverberation reaches the bigger ears, and they get the fact that right now there is going to be a Nuremberg.
You're talking about the Nuremberg trials after World War II.
I'm talking about accountability for their behavior.
Rick, so when I say there's no reason to go to Washington, you can't get anything accomplished. You can't even get to see these thugs. But, if you go to their homes, you go visit them in your district. Go to their homes, and, with a group. Say, we want to talk to him or her. And, that would wake them up that, what? Hey, actually there are people here who are paying attention to what we're doing to them. The screwing we're giving them.
Their livelihood depends on it because we are their bosses, and we've forgotten that.
Well, actually, they've forgotten it.
Well, we can remind them, at the voters' poll. That's where it starts.
Yeah, and locally, and expose them, and put their, make it so that when you type in their name, all you see is negative posts about them. And you talked about Smokey the Bear. Rick, when we were younger, it was Smokey the Bear. They changed it about 15 or 20 years ago. They say, no, it's not Smokey the Bear, just like it's not Easter the Bunny. No, they're saying now it's Smokey Bear. It's not Smokey the Bear. But for us, it was Smokey the Bear. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
In the U.S. alone, a home invasion occurs every 13 seconds. On top of that, the average response time for 911 is over 15 minutes. That just won't cut it. Don't allow yourself or the important people in your life to be victims. When seconds matter, don't be caught stumbling for your firearm. Get the protection you deserve. Get yourself a hidden holster from hiddenholster.com. It's the original hidden holster. The hidden holster is quick, easy, and convenient. It's versatile enough for the home, workplace, or virtually anywhere else you might need it. Have peace of mind with your firearm close by at all times. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. If you own a firearm, you need a hidden holster. Your protection matters, and self-defense is the best defense. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. The original hidden holster.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
All right, so suddenly Walmart, eBay, Amazon, everybody wants to ban the rebel flag. Well, the rebel flag is an important part of American history. The rebel flag is still a long-standing symbol of Southern pride and Southern heritage. So if the big retailers want to play into political correctness and try to deny the history of America, let them. Go to ourflags.com. That's R like rebel, R, the letter R, ourflags.com. Get your rebel flag before they actually do outlaw the things, huh? ourflags.com. That's ourflags.com. Go now.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. And, Rick, I just did a little bit of research, and there's a lot of confusion over Smokey the Bear versus Smokey Bear. And the government's saying, no, it's not Smokey the Bear, it's Smokey Bear. Well, when Smokey first came out in the 50s, it was Smokey the Bear. Yeah. And as Dan Pilla would say, who's one of our instructors, I'm telling you, it is Smokey the Bear. They changed it. And I don't like it. And not very many people our age like it either. To us, it's Smokey the Bear. And the problem was, and if you think about it, one of the biggest things that a terrorist could do in this country is start fires. It's one of the biggest things a terrorist could do because they're so hard to stop, right? So after World War II, or during World War II, there were very few of us guys around because if we were of fighting age, we were in Europe, right? That's where we were. And we had to prevent forest fires because how would we fight them with, most of our guys overseas? So this campaign started to prevent forest fires. What a great way to go. So why don't we continue preventing forest fires? It's our duty. It's our responsibility. If we see a small fire that starts should not be, happening, it's our duty to put it out. That's what I would do, and I'm sure that's what most of our class would do.
Well,
but we're not thinking about that.
We're thinking 3P loggers that are unemployed that would set a forest fire so they can harvest morel mushrooms the next year and make a bunch of money.
It's outrageous.
That's what's going on now with logger mentality. Grace said something important to me while we were on break. She said, when I was in the Philippines, and it's true, I saw all the old armor, tanks and vehicles and like that in the jungle, growing pines from World War II. When the war was over, they left their equipment in the desert and walked away. And there is a second movie, which is, the first one was called Monsters, takes place in Mexico, with a life form from another planet that takes over Mexico, and they have to wall it off. And this one is a new Monsters movie called The Dark State, where it's about Iraq and what's going on while they're battling insurgents and have these alien invasions with monsters. And I have to tell you, it's an interesting concept because nobody lives in this one. It's a eye opener in the way it is. Now the reason we're so hated and we have these wars is because, like when we gave San Salvador their aid money they desperately need, there was a writer that they must use Monsanto GMOs in order to get that aid. Now where in Congress did that happen? And how come are looked as an ugly American? Here we are again. No wonder the rest of the world hates us. And I had the very fortunate when I was riding home on an aircraft, and I have something to say about airplanes in a minute. This guy sitting next to me was a very wealthy, from Saudi Arabia, musician. He had a very cool thing. I found him engaging, and I said, I have to apologize for America, because what's happening is not what I believe in. And he knew it.
Rick, what you're saying I find fascinating because I have met some Europeans for the first time, over the years, and that's exactly what I do. I apologize.
I apologize.
And
my country. I didn't vote for that.
Right, and I literally apologize for what we have done to the planet. The greed, the sum of the individual greed, the financial collapses, the financial manipulation, the gold manipulation.
That's what all of it is. about. Our armies are sitting here not being used with all the armament, so let's give it to the police and shave their heads and fill them up with steroids. Matt Stein is going to be on Coast to Coast Monday night. I'm promoting him because he's going to talk about police on steroids and how that is changing America.
All right. Well,
that's what it's about. These creepies are taking loads of drugs, and all you need to do is use a little bit of scopolamine, and now you have a loose cannon murdering people at random for another false flag in justifying Homeland Security.
All right, Rick, when we come back, I've got an exclamation point for what you just said. I really do. We'll talk about the police, and we'll talk about the corruption, and we'll talk about their out of control, and we'll talk about what happens when a policeman takes...
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water's vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Okay, honey, I have to ask, and be honest here. Have you been taking a little blue pill? Because things have been pretty good in the bedroom lately.
No, I swear.
You didn't pick anything up at the Pharmacia last month in Cancun?
No.
Well, something's different.
I have been taking that heart and body extract you bought me.
But that's for your heart and to control your cholesterol.
Well, I read HB extract also promotes healthy prostate function.
I never guessed it would work this well,
but you're glad it did.
Oh, yeah.
Heart and Body Extract is a 100% organic formula that promotes a strong heart, healthy arterial flow, better circulation, improves erectile and prostate gland function, and provides youthful energy, strength, and stamina. Find out more at heartandbodyextract.com. Heart and Body Extract paired with healthy heart choices is a winning combination. Call toll-free to order or for free information. 1-866-295-5305. 1-866-295-5305.
In the U.S. alone, a home invasion occurs every 13 seconds. On top of that, the average response time for 911 is over 15 minutes. That just won't cut it. Don't allow yourself or the important people in your life to be victims. When seconds matter, don't be caught stumbling for your firearm. Get the protection you deserve. Get yourself a hidden holster from hiddenholster.com. It's the original hidden holster. The hidden holster is quick, easy, and convenient. It's versatile enough for the home, workplace, or virtually anywhere else you might need it. Have peace of mind with your firearm close by at all times. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. If you own a firearm, you need a hidden holster. Your protection matters, and self-defense is the best defense. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. The original hidden holster.
Everyone says or does something silly once in a while. Even very smart, very accomplished people. It's part of being human. A quote taken out of context, a legal problem, an unfortunate photograph. Once that embarrassing thing is on the internet, it can spread like a terrible rash because people love to dig up dirt, even when it's not real dirt. Put it to rest. Call for a free expert analysis today from Reputation.com. It only takes 30 seconds. 800-831-0771. Businesses, public figures, and professionals turn to Reputation.com for good reason. We protect your online image by helping make sure that when people search for you or your business, they find the most current, accurate information possible. Reputation.com, because word travels fast. Learn more about what the experts at Reputation.com can do for you. Call for a free analysis today. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Hi, this is Steve Spillum for Midas Resources. In 1971, President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard and put us into a fiat currency. This allowed Congress and the Federal Reserve to create trillions of dollars out of thin air. The national debt has risen to incredible heights, and your hard-earned dollars by a small fraction of what they once did. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 27 years. The dollar is failing and on borrowed time. When currencies fall, people turn to gold and silver because gold and silver have been real money for more than 5,000 years. It is our mission at Midas Resources to help you preserve your capital. Don't let your personal savings shrink to nothing. For important free information on how you can protect your personal wealth, contact me, Steve Spillum, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Call today while we are still accepting dollars for gold and silver. 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Make a change in your financial security today. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 308.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Rick, there's been a story in the news in the last few days about a campus cop who killed an unarmed man with a shot to the head. And so the cop is claiming that he was in fear of his life. And they always do that. They're always in fear of their lives. So, I mean, I saw the footage, and you see this gun come out. Boom. I mean, just like within a second, he just pulls his gun and shoots this guy inside his car. So, you know, we're concerned about the cops, and we're concerned about them being on hyper alert. Well, let's go back to Sparta, Missouri. Sparta, Missouri is where our instructor/student, Bob Estep, 68-year-old man, was tased in his car by a Sparta City cop. The cop's name is Andrew Spencer. So what happens is Andrew Spencer pulls over Bob Estep. Bob Estep at around 9:30 at night. Bob Estep is waiting in his car. It's dark. He's got a spotlight on him. He's waiting. He's on a lonely road. And so Bob Estep picks up his cell phone, calls 911. Says, I've just been pulled over. Next thing Bob Estep knows is the cop opens Estep's door and tases him right in the car. So I was absolutely outraged. Bob suffered neurological damage as a result of this, and I called for the arrest of this Sparta City, Missouri cop, Andrew Spencer. Well, a bunch of us USA Prepares types went to the alderman's meeting, and we weren't allowed to speak because you had to be on the agenda. I mean, they carefully choreographed this so that they would prevent us from saying anything, and we were really well behaved. Well, what happens? The police chief resigns. So now who's the police chief? Andrew Spencer. The guy who tased Bob Estep gets promoted for tasing Bob Estep. He now is the chief of police. Well, it's not just one occurrence in Sparta. Now there are more than one of these occurrences of tasings in Sparta.
And they're on drugs, and they're on illegal drugs, steroids. They're on illegal drugs, and it's okay. And with a creepy handler coming in with a dash of scopolamine, and now you have an excuse for war and national security, NSA, local home front. Because look at this. And I'm afraid Jade Helm is going to look for excuses to go hot. I'm going to guess that that's going to be why the governor of Texas is calling out the National Guard to protect his constituency. Why are we not doing that here?
So, Rick, the sheriff of the county...
Not us. The police shave their heads, they pump up on adrenaline, and then they go out into an unknown world, locked and loaded, ready to go to war at any level and escalate. And the thugs will send as many as 12 SWAT in just for an attempted suicide.
Yeah, and we say never call 911 because if you do, someone's going to get shot or someone's going to jail. And that's exactly It's exactly what happened to Bob Eastep.
So what we have is militia. We have oath keepers. The oath keepers here are all now deployed. Heads up. And I'm telling you what's going on in the state of Jefferson. It's creepy. You don't know who you're in the bunker with.
We never thought back in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s that the enemy, we would be declared an enemy of our government. We never thought that.
That is correct. Look at what's going on now. And they're trying to claim that ISIS is going to start a war, and they've got, cells in every state. Well, guess what? ISIS turns out to be CIA outside their bounds by working inside the country. Page 2. It gets worse when you start to realize that the enemy is us.
No question we have been declared the enemy, because if we weren't the enemy, we would have labels on our food that tell us what we're eating.
Saving it, yeah, like food and drug. But you see, right now we have Jimmy Carter was quoted in ARP magazine last month of saying Washington, D.C. is for sale. It's run by transnational corporations. We are no longer the America that I served and protected. All rules are off.
Rick, every Tuesday we have Larry Nichols on as an instructor. Larry Nichols was in the campaign for the Clintons in the 90s, and also before that when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas. And he is saying very much the same things. He's saying that, yes, there are bribes. Yes, the elections are manipulated.
How do you like the way the Republican Party does not have anyone to run against Hillary Clinton? How's that work?
Well, it's
a setup.
Yeah, and the things that I'm hearing about Hillary Clinton are very, very disturbing.
Man, if you thought Clinton was bad, watch her. This is Actually, what Larry Nichols has been telling us, and he'll be on the air for another 2 hours, every Tuesday, right here on USA Prepares, exposing the scandals. And what he's saying is that Bill Clinton just wanted to be a rock star. He wanted to, he wanted to have. How's that work for a president of the United States and the public?
We have such a mess. Well, absolutely.
This is supposed to represent the most strongest person. Whatever happened to the John Foster Dulles and the Adlai Stevenson that were statesmen?
We don't have statesmen. We have guys like Barney Frank who just mumble. Now these guys.
What's going on?
I'm convinced, literally, Rick, I am convinced that people are selected to be candidates for office. I think they're encouraged based on their ability to be manipulated and bribed and controlled. So, and now let me give you an example. When I first moved to Virginia, it was determined that I was a computer jockey and I knew a little bit about computers. So I was in the realtor's office, and this was on like the main drag in this little hamlet where I lived in Virginia, rural Virginia. So the realtor had 3 rooms. The first room, when you walked in off the sidewalk, you'd go into the main room where he'd meet you if you were new to his office. Then he had the second room back where there'd be a little more private conversation. And then there was the third room where he had storage and, like the back room, if you will. I was in the middle room working on his computer. And there was a glass wall between the first room by the sidewalk and the middle room. So if you're in the middle room, you could see what's going on in the first room. So I was working on his computer, helping him out. And this lawyer came in. And this lawyer said to him, and he met him in the front room. He goes, "Hey, you know that new guy, Finelli? We ought to get him to run for mayor, because what we can do is, we can tell him what to do and we can get him to do it. And then, if it goes bad, well, it'll be his fault. And I listened to this. I couldn't believe it. This was in the early 1990s. What they said was they had selected me because they figured they could manipulate me, get me to do whatever their dirty work was, and it'd be all my fault. They planned this. What they didn't realize was I heard it. This guy was our attorney. I fired him. Literally, I fired him. We were at a closing for a property. My parents were going to buy this property. He was my parents' attorney. We were at the courthouse. We had a cashier's check for the full purchase price of this property. We were going to do the deal right there. So I opened the briefcase. I said, gentlemen, and this was right at the courthouse, at the Hall of Records. Everybody was there. The buyers, the sellers, the attorneys, the realtors, the brokers, everybody was there. Me and my dad. I opened the briefcase and I said, gentlemen, I just want to make sure this is okay with you. Is this check acceptable? And they all looked at it and passed it around, and yeah, it's good, it's great. I said, okay. And I named the attorney, and I said, you're fired. Gentlemen, there will be no closing today. And I explained why. And my dad and I left. I fired the attorney publicly, right at the courthouse.
That's the way you need to do it.
This was in 1990.
Yeah, accountability. Take him to the woodshed.
This kind of stuff makes my blood boil. And these are the guys, these are the guys that are the pillars of the community. People look up to them and go, wow, they're really
let's
something.
Not forget CenturyLink is a last closing parting shot. Let's not forget the banks. Take your money and put it into a credit union. Your local credit union is going to give you a whole lot better mileage than any bank is anymore.
Rick, and I have a question for you. Norm Shealy was on the air with me yesterday, and the question that he asked me was something like this. What do I think is going to happen first? Like, of all these possibilities, what is my number one concern? And I was unable to answer. And let me tell you what I said, and I'd like to hear your comments.
Yeah.
I was unable to answer him because there's so many choices.
Oh yeah.
We're surrounded 360 degrees. There's the climate, there's Fukushima, there's electromagnetic radiation, there's the toxic food supply, the toxic air, the toxic water, the threats from the government, the oppression, the taxes, the financial collapse, the EMPs. There's so many, and then there's war, and then there's confiscation, and then there's how many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose. 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993 today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you could consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us, richardallenmiller.com, richardalanmiller.com. And as I was talking about the Sparta City Police, I called for Joey Kyle on the air, the sheriff, constitutional sheriff, to investigate and arrest Andrew Spencer, the cop who tased Bob Estep. And what I was told is that, he needed to be contacted by Bob Estep in order for him to get involved and investigate. Well, it's not true. A crime was committed. A crime was committed. An on-duty police officer violated the constitutional rights of Bob Estep. Okay? Bob Estep's taser should have been charged and arrested. That wasn't the case. But what happened to Joey Kyle? Well, Joey Kyle pled guilty, and he's facing 1 year and 1 day in the federal pen for corruption. So there's nobody to call. That's the whole point. There's nobody to call. Mike Parsons in Tennessee, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen. Real quick, I've got an analogy and a challenge for you and all of the other instructors. Realize with a computer program, once a program starts, it will run until something changes it, whether it's just a single keystroke or a virus or whatever. Once cancer starts, it will continue to grow as long as the environment is conducive to the cancer to grow. Until you start putting in turmeric or curcumin or something, making the body alkaline, the cancer will grow. Right now, we have a cancer amongst us in this country. We have a virus. We have a program that's being run. We have to identify what is the triggering mechanism to shut down the program to terminate the cancer. That's our goal. That's our only objective to salvage anything, in my opinion, whether it be magic words and phrases to the officer, stand down officer. They're programmed with something to shut them down. And I believe that I'm seeing this because of all these people coming back from Iraq that have been programmed, that they get to the point where they kill themselves, which is not a normal thing. When they're killing themselves, it's because they're going into some type of a loop, and they have no other alternative other than to kill themselves.
That's right. And they were locked and loaded, and when they come back from Iraq, they have been programmed to be on an adrenaline junkie rule. And then when they hit them with steroids and they shave their heads, they're a loose cannon, and anybody can trigger it with just slight behavior problems or something like scopolamine. And it is with intent that this has been done.
So Rick, the longer the word would be mean the safer the person. I should be the safest person on the planet.
Mike, you have a ponytail down to the middle of your back, right?
It's correct. It's called a Q, but yes.
Yeah,
not a poor Q, but
good luck with that. I like your point. It's valid. It's about cancer in our society right now.
And there's nobody to call. We're it. We can only call each other and call upon ourselves and our Creator and so forth. The powers of the universe. We have to come up with a solution and be ready fast. Now, the other option is to just not be there when it all comes apart. We just have to be someplace else, and that's not necessarily practical for 99% of us.
Mike Parsons, I heard that when you were sentenced to go back to prison this last time, that your parole officer high-fived his buddies, and they were just delighted that they were going to send you back to prison on trumped-up charges. Did you hear that rumor, too?
I was there. That's exactly what happened. It was via teleconference, and at the moment that I asked the question, sir, the officer, did you read the law where it says exception, that if the guns are locked up in a safer container, that the respondent is not in possession? Immediately, the hearing officer stopped the presentation before we had ever gone through the full due process requirements that she's required to do. She said, I found probable cause, and I'm moving that we revoke your parole. And they high-fived, slapped each other on the back. They were having a celebration. It was all about the victory, the defeat. And, it's not about the truth. It is not about the law. It's about a win-loss ratio, their team versus our team. That's their viewpoint.
Well, Mike, if you get forced back to prison, we will expose everyone who's involved. Just make sure that everyone knows that. All of, including Edward Danny Johnson, your parole officer. We'll make him famous. Get ready, Danny. Mike, thanks so much for calling in. Rick, thanks so much for being with us, class above all honesty. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose. 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993 today.